Hey everyone, I am back with a layout, and guess what? I am doing a double pager. Oh my goodness. Let's get started. I'm using the Everywhere collection from 49 Market, and you can see I forgot to show you that I used my circle cutter and cut out a chunk of a circle out of one of those beautiful background pages, and we're going to make this a shaker. So I'm going to pull in some sequins for my stash, and I have some sheets of 12 by 12 acetate that I got years ago, and unfortunately I don't even remember where I purchased them from, but there's the acetate, and that's going to go underneath that circle. Then I'm going to take some paper that I found from my stash. It's just a mixed media looking paper, and that's going to be behind there. You'll see I'm not gluing everything down quite yet, but that's the photo I'm going to use on my left part of my 12 by 12. Then I'm going to bring in background paper from Spectrum Sherbert on the back, and then I've got white cardstock, and then I'm going to pull a couple strips of that paper I used behind the shaker and add those two strips to that white paper on the top and bottom of the photos. Now, I do not ever do 12 by or 2-page layouts because I just struggle with them. I do. But I have so many photos from Hawaii, and some of these layouts, I have more than 1 or 2 or even 3 photos that I need to tell the story. So I'm going to have to incorporate either some 2-page layouts, or I may do some 1-page layouts and then accompany it with a Project Life sleeve that has more pictures and whatnot. But this one, I decided to do the double page, and I actually am quite surprised at how much I like it. I probably won't do too many 2-pagers that have like 4 photos on each side. That's just, I don't know why it's so hard for me, because I love what they look like when other people do them. I just have the hardest time doing them myself. Who knows? I have no idea. But here I am layering up that paper. I'm going to go ahead and glue down the photos here shortly, and then I will show you how I make that large shaker pocket. It's super easy. So just need some acetate, clear acetate, some sequins, and some foam tape to make that happen. So we'll glue down this mixed media-ish looking paper and go from there. So I used the Everywhere collection from 49 Market, and I'm kind of using that collection along with the Vicky Bouton Wear To Next and incorporating both of those into my album, along with some travel stuff from my stash. So I'm kind of mixing it up a bit. But I thought these pictures of Pearl Harbor would be perfect with the Everywhere collection. And then this one paper on the left had like a sailboat kind of incorporated into it, and I thought with, just the whole theme that would work out nicely as well. I purchased my Everywhere collection from my little scrapbook store, and I will leave a link to the store and all of the products that I used for this layout. Now, if you are not a shopper yet at my little scrapbook store, you can use my code. It is TISAREF, and you can save 10% on your first order, your whole order. So if you have a $200 order, you're gonna save $20. And she's got all of the latest and greatest collections and really great prices. She does live sales on Facebook, Instagram, her app, and her website. And we just got done having a 3-day live sale this week where we, in the evening, she usually starts them at 8 or 8:30 Eastern time. And then you can, purchase stuff through the sale. You can also re-watch the video on her website or the app and purchase the sale, watch the sale over and purchase items that way. Gives you a really great chance to see all of the items somewhat in person, right? And get to see a little bit better what they look like. I decided to gut out this paper because I really like the colors in it, and I might want to use it again on another layout. Now, this background paper on the right and the background paper on the left are from two different collections from 49 Market, but they went together really, really well. So I'm really excited about that. I also just purchased some of the paper from the new 49 Market Gardenia collection. I think it's Spectrum Gardenia or Gardenia. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that is available in the shop as well. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and start building the shaker. I'm going to attach the acetate first. I have the whole 12 by 12 sheet there, but I'm only putting adhesive where I need it. So I will end up going in and trimming off that excess acetate, because I can then use it for another shaker pocket or a shaker card. I can certainly use it again, and I didn't want to waste it. So I'll just stick that back in my stash. So what are the collections y'all are playing with right now? What are you enjoying using? I'm interested to know. I know there's a lot of really fun new Simple Stories collections out. I think there's a Pink Fresh Studio collection out. There's another Pink Fresh Studio travel collection that Michelle's getting in the store soon, and I can't wait for that one too. Here's the craft foam I'm using. I'm using that big, huge craft foam. It's from, goodness, I can't, why is it not coming to me right now? Oh, PIcket Fence Studios. That it's in the store. I love it. It's so nice and firm, holds its shape well, and I wanted to use it on this layout because, I just wanted it to not bend. I didn't want my paper to bend at all once I put the foam on. So I'm just going to put foam all the way around that circle shape and then on the whole left side of the page. And we need that so that we can add the sequins in there. I took that brown cardstock that I probably will never use, and I'm using that just as my base to adhere all of my layers. So here I'm going to put down that mixed media sheet. That's going to go underneath the acetate circle. And then I will pour the sequins on there, and then we'll glue that other sheet right over the top. It's just so pretty. Oh my goodness. I love to do shakers every once in a while in my albums. And this one is just fun because it was an amazing one of a kind vacation, and so it's just fun to have a little extra something. Now I didn't show this on camera, but I also used my sewing machine and I sewed around that circle. Just a simple stitch with white thread. It's honestly kind of hard to see. You won't see it on camera at all, but I can see it on person. And that just kind of reinforced the acetate, so I know that that acetate is not going to move. Here we're going to glue everything down and then start building the layout. The flowers that I'm going to use on this page are all from the paper pack from Spectrum Sherbert. It's part of the pack that the paper on the right hand side of the layout that you'll see in a little bit was from. And it's the back of the cover page. It has just some things you can fussy cut out, and it's really thick cardstock, and it just made beautiful embellishments. I will be pulling those out here shortly. Right now I'm kind of trimming off the edges because I didn't put that paper on there very straight. I knew that would happen. I rarely do anything straight. So here's my double page. And I can't remember what I'm going to start working on next. If I'm going to do the left side or if I'm going to do the right side. I think I'm going to place some of the flowers. Nope. There was a branding strip. That's what I did. There was a branding strip on one of the papers that said together. And so I thought how perfect to use that underneath that photo of my husband and I at the bottom of that page. And then I will build just a small little cluster right there next to that word to kind of help with that whole triangle principle with design, meaning you kind of put your embellishments in 3 different clusters that form a triangle, and that helps your eye move around the page. So my first part of the triangle would be on the left side of the page where my single photo is. All the flowers I'm going to put along there is going to be like the left side of my triangle. Then my title and a small embellishment up on the right hand side of the second page will be my second, and then I'll do a small little cluster down at the bottom. I'm using this frame that is from the 49 Market Everywhere collection, but I wanted to kind of bulk it up a little bit, so I used some of the paper that I gutted out from that paper on the side to back my photo. And I really like the addition of that paper. So I'm just gonna that frame's already sticky, so I'm just gonna stick it on there and then cut it out with my scissors. Since the frame is chipboard, it would have made it very hard to cut that paper with my trimmer. So scissors is fine with me. I do a lot of my paper cutting with my scissors. All right, once that's done, I'll show you the flowers that I fussy cut out. Oh, you can see them there to the left, the blue flowers. And then I took a pop of the yellow as well. And I love the contrast of the yellow flowers with the blue. There's only 2, but it's just enough, I think, to really make a nice statement. And then I'm able to bring the yellow over on the right hand side with my title. So I'm just kind of placing these, kind of seeing what I'm going to do. I'll glue them on later. I am a scrapper that places and then glues. So I end up having to do a layout almost twice, but I don't mind. I cut off the stem to that flower because it was just getting in the way. Oh, look at that yellow. I don't know, it just adds such a nice little pop to all the blues. I'm going to add one more flower cluster, and then I will add a yellow flower down in the corner by the photo, and then I'm going to add a couple of butterflies as well. So pretty. Again, that's a butter. All of these were fussy cut. None of these are all just kind of like freebies in the paper collection because they're all on the back of the cover page. All right, so this is how it's gonna look, and now I'm gonna move over, and I might be starting at the bottom. I can't remember. Yeah, I was thinking about using the geotag, but I ended up changing my mind. It was just not the right size, not really the right shape. I don't know. It just didn't work out for me. So I had already pulled out some of the laser cut elements from the Everywhere collection. Was it from the Everywhere? It was either from the Everywhere collection or from, yeah, it was from the Everywhere collection. And I'm going to find something there. This is one of the acetate film strips. I'm going to use that to add just a little texture and a little something at the top. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one in half because I'm going to be tucking it anyway. And that way it will allow it to span across the whole page. So I always like to cut my stuff in half when I can and make my product stretch. And this was a perfect example of doing that. I had another film strip. I could have used 2, but Why would I want to do that when I could save it for another one? So this kind of helps frame the photos without adding more paper. This set of binoculars is from the laser cut elements, and I love how that's going to fill in that space. I am going to fill in the binocular centers with just some paper, and you'll see that in a little bit. I can't believe I had the exact color yellow of thickers in my stash that match those yellow flowers. And when I was going through my thickers to find something for my title, and I ran across that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect, because it perfectly draws that color across the whole layout. Now, I did not have 2 lowercase r's. So I end up putting an uppercase R on the right. I needed 3 R's. I only had 1 lowercase r. So I used an uppercase R here and another uppercase R in the middle of harbor. And it almost makes it look like it was planned that way. And that was my intent, because it obviously wasn't. If I had all lowercase, I would have used them. I love the font of this thicker as well. And I apologize because I don't keep my packaging for my thickers. I'm not sure what the font is. Very, 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 very generic title, but I think it works, and I'm just going to title this Pearl Harbor because that's what it was. So finish up that title, and then all I'll need to do at that point would be stick everything down and glue everything back down. Now, I am going to scatter a few of the sequins that I used in the shaker. I'm going to scatter some around each of the embellishment clusters. So some up by the title, some down here by this cluster that I'm working on now. And then I will scatter some around the flowers. So I'm kind of bringing an element from the shaker out on top of the layout. And I really like how that looks. It's just really subtle because it kind of almost blends in with the paper, but I like how it looks anyway. So here's where I'm going to back the lenses of those binoculars with some paper from the stash, something that I had already cut up, and I really love how it looks instead of leaving them open. Now, if you had really tiny photos, you could put photos in those binoculars. That would be really cool. If you had if I had even more photos, I could print them in a 2x2 size and even add more photos into those binoculars. That would be really cute. But I didn't think that much in advance. I probably could have done that, but I wasn't thinking. And I was already filming, so there was no turning back at that point. All right. Now I'm going to glue everything down, and then I'm going to be gluing down all of the flowers and adding the sequins on the left side of the page. So I'll probably just add a little bit of music here. I do have some close-up photos for you at the end of the video, so feel free to take a look at those at the end. And I will leave all of the links to my little scrapbook store, to all of the products, and anything you need to make this layout in the description box below. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I hope you come back for another video soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.